Emily Francis.
And I'm Josh Wyrick. We're coming to you from the Excelling Lab on the campus of Purdue University. Welcome to our poster session.
Hi everyone, this is Josh and I'll be presenting our poster, Acceptability of Relative Clause Extraposition in English, Effects of Predicate Type and Givenness. So in English, in the canonical order, subject-modifying restrictive relative clauses are typically adjacent to their antecedents, like in 1, but they can also be extraposed, like in 2. So today we'll be talking about two factors that influence the acceptability of RCE, predicate type and givenness of the predicate. For predicate type, previous work has shown that RCE is highly acceptable with predicates of appearance, like in 3, and is typically less acceptable with intransitive non-appearance predicates, like in 4, and transitive predicates, like in 5. However, it's been suggested that RCE with non-appearance predicates can be improved when the predicate has been previously mentioned in the discourse context. So for example, in 6a, a man screamed who wasn't wearing any clothes. It's a bit weird, not very acceptable. But in 6b, suddenly there was the sound of lions growling, several women screamed, then a man screamed who was standing at the very edge of the crowd, perhaps a bit more acceptable. So it appears that RCE is influenced by predicate type and discourse givenness of the predicate, but the acceptability of RCE with transitive verbs and with discourse given predicates hasn't been formally tested. So that'll be the jumping off point for our experiment. So our research questions were, what are the effects of word order, discourse givenness of the predicate, and predicate type on sentence acceptability ratings? And then are there any interactions among these factors? So to answer these questions, we conducted an acceptability judgment experiment using a 7-point Likert scale, and we manipulated the factors word order, verb type, and discourse status of the predicate. So this table shows our experimental factors, their levels, and the total number of conditions. And it also shows our verb tokens that we used for the 3 verb types in the study. This figure shows a sample experimental item, and it shows how the 3 factors were manipulated. So our data were analyzed using a linear mixed effects model with independent variables and their interactions as fixed effects, and we also analyzed the data using a multinomial logistic regression, and we got the same main effects and interactions. So figure 3 shows the results for the 2 word orders by the 3 verb types. Our statistical analysis showed a significant interaction between word order and verb type, which was driven by the RCE sentences with appearance verbs being significantly more acceptable than the RCE sentences with intransitive non-appearance verbs and the sentences with transitive reflexive verbs. Also, surprisingly, the RCE sentences with transitive reflexive verbs were no less acceptable than the RCE sentences with intransitive non-appearance verbs. Figure 4 shows the givenness by verb type in the canonical order only, so as you can see, there wasn't really any effect of predicate givenness for the 3 different verb types in the study in the canonical order, which is what we predicted. In figure 5, we have givenness by verb type in the RCE order, and as you can see again, not really any effect of givenness for the 3 verb types in the study in the RCE order, which was contrary to prediction. So to wrap up, RCE sentences with appearance verbs were significantly more acceptable than those with other verb types, and that's consistent with the results of Walker's judgment experiment that manipulated verb type and tested RCE sentences in isolation. The acceptability of RCE also didn't improve in the given condition, so our findings fail to support the proposal that non-appearance verbs become more acceptable with RCE when previously mentioned. One of our reviewers pointed out that this could have been because our discourse manipulation wasn't salient enough, and we actually have some preliminary results from a forced choice task that suggest that this is the case. Finally, and surprisingly for us, RCE was no less acceptable with transitive reflexive verbs than with intransitive non-appearance verbs. So we suggest that the discourse givenness and the reduced semantic content of the reflexive object compared with the typical non-reflexive object makes these sentences marginally acceptable. And that's consistent with the proposal by Kuno and Takami that extraposition from MP is acceptable when the constituent extraposed over is given and semantically transparent. All right, well, thank you for listening. We hope you decide to drop by our poster session on Saturday, and we'll have some more information in our OSF bio about how to get in touch with us.
Thanks for dropping by our poster. We really look forward to any comments or feedback you have on the presentation. And thank you so much to the CUNY organizers for all their hard work and really making the virtual CUNY a huge success.
Great job, Josh.
Yeah, thanks. Should you be Bernie or?
No, I want to be Bernie.
Okay, all right.